Hi there, this is the how-to video for the Tree of Life shadow box from Our Little Makery. And so this is what your kit should look like. It should have your shadow box. It should be in place with all its different layers. It should have a whole bunch of paint, glue, your paintbrush, and your stand as well. So you can paint your stand or you can leave it as is, whatever you like to do, but it just slots together like this. And then once your shadow box is all done and glued together, it just sits right in there like that. So that is your stand. I'm not going to paint it with the how-to video, but you just paint one side, then wait for it to dry and paint the other side, and slots together. It's really quite easy and charming and looks really cute. So for your shadow box, basically the steps are paint it, add in details that you'd like, and then glue it together. But there's a few little tips and tricks along the way, like how long you wait and stacking it to see if you want to add details before. So for the Tree of Life, I'm going to do the background first, and I just kind of lay out my layers like this, just so I can kind of see which one's going to show up the most to know how to paint it compared to like perhaps the last one. And the Tree of Life, you can do whatever colors you want. You can do gold, you can do green, you can do brown, but the most popular one that we've seen in our community is a rainbow one. So that's the one that I'm going to do today. So actually I'm going to start with the background. So the background is what you see here throughout all the, not really branches because there's so much detail, but over here on the other side of the trunk. So I'm going to do kind of a morning one, and I'm going to kind of not necessarily do the sun, but just kind of have my yellow and orange circle in this area. And I'm just going to blend them just so that you can kind of see it like illuminating through the background. So I'm going to take my yellow, and I like mixing right here on the shadow box. Some people don't like that, but they do it on a plate, but I like to, just because I like to see the different lines in the paint. So I'm going to start here with my yellow, and basically I'm just going to swirl around with my orange. And kind of have more orange as I go out. I don't need to go all the way out to the edges because it's not really going to show. So I don't need to worry about my paint too much, but I do want it to come out a fair bit. And I do want to blend it quite a bit. So I'm just pulling my orange around. And then I'm going to pull out my yellow. I'm just going to wash my brush off. Just kind of move my paint around a little bit. Maybe bringing more of it out. And then continue to swirl it. And of course I can let this dry, and then I can add some more to it. I can also add in a little bit of white just here in the middle, a little bit of yellow, just so I have just a little bit of that lighter center. I can pull out the outer a little bit. And remember, you're not seeing exactly this, you're actually seeing your layers on top of it. So I like how you can see a little bit of that light there. And I might even just take a bit of yellow and just kind of surround it a little bit more. But I don't like seeing the lines exactly like this, so I do want to blend those in. But I like the orange too. So anyways, that's my background. And then I'm going to move over here onto my tree. So I'm going to start with the one that you see, the one that's first. And I'm going to paint a rainbow. So I'm going to do my red here, then here, then here, then here. This is different than the other shadow boxes because normally with the other shadow boxes, you do each layer completely and then you layer them up. But because I'm doing a rainbow across the leaves, I want to make sure that where my red is here, my red is also here. So this one is a little bit different, but fun and beautiful, like all of them are. So I'm going to start with my red, and I'm just going to come in here and just know that I have to divide this kind of into 6. These are the colors I have. So I need red and orange and yellow. So you're kind of doing a little bit of fractions here. Just so I don't run out of space. So I'm doing my red kind of here. My red here. And it doesn't have to be perfectly lined up because of course there's so many little leaves that you don't see totally through it, but you just don't want to have like this red and underneath it be blue or something like that. Or maybe you do, I don't know. It's completely up to you. So I have my red in place. Then I'm gonna go in with my orange. And I kind of want to do this while this is wet, just to be able to blend it. So I start orange over here and I move towards the red. Because I want my darkest orange to be over here. And then when I move into the red, it's going to, if it's already wet, it's going to kind of naturally blend in. Do the same technique over here. And no one's really seeing this exactly, right? Like this is going over top. So don't worry about the lines that you can see on your back layers because you can't really. There's just too much in front of it. Okay, and then I'm going to move on to yellow. Do the same thing. Start with my bright yellow over here and work towards my orange to blend in. Okay. Just going to get another cloth for my brush. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to green, and you have 2 different colors of green, so it's up to you how you want to mix them, what colors you want to do. I'm going to do dark green. Oh. Again, start over here and then slowly start to mix into the yellow. If you find that it's kind of dry by the time you get to it, like let's say over here, I think it's just fine if it's not a top layer. If it is a top layer, then you might just want to add some of the other color and just go over it back and forth a little bit to kind of see if you can get more of a blend. So like for here with my yellow, I really just kind of have a line of green. So I might want to take a little bit of my yellow and just kind of push it back in here into the green a little bit, just so it kind of turns a little bit lighter green. Just to kind of show it mixing a little bit. Okay, then, okay, I'm going to go on to my blue, and you have multiple colors of blue. I think I'll go dark, or maybe I'll go light blue. In here. Then again, pull towards the green to mix. And if you find that it's dry, just add some more green. So just kind of going back and forth a little bit. Just to kind of blend it out a little bit more. Okay, and I'm gonna add my blue here. You could go a lot slower with these, but I feel like for time, I just want to show you the process more than the color mixing. Okay, and then purple. Again, you have two different purples. So you can do whatever you would like to do. And you could always mix them too, like maybe start with light purple over here and then get your dark purple by the end, which would be so pretty. And even if you do the same design, yours is going to look so much different than someone else's. There. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do purple here, 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 and here. The next thing I'm going to do, just for time, and show you the process, is I'm going to do a brown trunk. You can do it light browns, dark browns. You can do each one like a different shade if you want, or you can do them all the same. You could do it gray, you could do it black, whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to do a gray trunk with some black roots, and then I'm just going to do the exact same thing underneath here. The same kind of color so that it comes through. I'm just going to do this black And then I want to do my grass green. And I probably want to do it a different green than what I did here. So I'll probably do it like a light green, just so it stands out as a little bit different than the tree. And then I'm just going to make sure that I do the exact same colors underneath. Let me pull those roots up a little bit here. There. And then do light green. So again, I would just do brown and black, brown and black, brown and black, and then this light green over here were kind of my bushes, my grass. Just broke my paintbrush. So then when it's all done and dry, this is the next step before you glue, is you decide, is it how you want it to be? So you stack it in the right order, like this. And it's all painted and you're like, oh, yeah, I love that. I love, or like, oh, I really want to blend it a bit more. You decide what it is you want to change. If you do, then you can unstack it, change it. But let's say you love it and it's perfect, then you want to glue it. Okay, so you're going to take your background. You're going to take your next layer. You're going to take your glue with your applicator and put your glue on your applicator, glue on your background, and put it on here. And then you're going to make sure it's all lined up and you're going to wait for that to dry. It's Mod Podge, it dries clear and it dries fast. Then you're going to do your next layer. Put glue here. You don't need tons. I put more glue here where it's thicker than through in here because you don't want it to like bleed through. And then put it on here. Make sure you line it up exactly how you want it. Let that dry. Then do your next layer and then this layer as well. Then leave it, let it dry, and it should be absolutely fantastic. I hope you had so much fun crafting. Happy crafting. Thanks for watching.